All right, so let's make a reusable spreadsheet to make this calculation right here related to that crazy fraction up there. So earlier I had just typed all those numbers in with an equal sign. Instead, what I'm going to do is just start over here and put in the relevant information. So relevant information was that I had a male, and for a male, that means G for gender is going to be equal to, and in the next cell, I'm going to type the number 0.68. So in a spreadsheet, it's good to put in labels along with your numbers, but don't put them in the same cell. What else did I know? I know this person had N equals 3 drinks. And what else? I know their weight, W, was equal to 120 pounds. And based on those 3 numbers right there, I can calculate that fraction. So I'm going to write fraction equals. And to do the fraction, I'm just going to do it kind of like before, but a little bit different. It's got to start with equals and parentheses because it's a complicated fraction. In the numerator, I had 2.84. Now, 2.84 is not on my screen right here, so I have to type it. However, the 3 is on the screen. So instead of typing times 3, I'm going to type times and click on where the 3 lives. And I'll show you why that's a cool thing to do to make this reusable in a sec. Close the numerator, divide, and my denominator, remember, is the weight times the gender factor. So instead of typing the weight 120, I'm just going to click on the weight. Do times, important, you got to have the times, and then click on the gender factor. Close the parentheses. Now, cool thing about doing it this way is if another problem comes up and they say, oh, no, this person wasn't 120, they were 150. So notice the fraction is that 0.104. If I replace the 120 with a 150, the spreadsheet's going to recalculate that fraction for me. And if someone says, yeah, that 150-pound person, they actually had 5 drinks, recalculates again, and they weren't really male, they were female. So then I can go over here and change the 0.68 to a 0.55, and it recalculates again, which is kind of neat. So I can reuse this. Put it back to the way it's supposed to be. 3 drinks, 120 pounds. Okay, so there's my fraction from before. And I think what I want to do next is, I'm just going to leave it like that. So next I want to make that table they talked about. So the table had T and B in it. And let's highlight those, make it prettier. All right, and T is going to be 1, T is going to be 3, and T is going to be 5. And first I'm going to show you the easy way to do this, and then after I'll show you the harder but more powerful way. To make a calculation on a spreadsheet, you got to type equals, and then I'm going to type my negative 0.015 times. Now I can't type T here because the computer's not going to know what T means. It's got some weird ideas. I just need to click on the number here to the left. Just grab whatever number's in that box. And then I'm going to add the 0.104. All right, so I'm thinking about that formula I had in my notes. And in my notes, the formula was negative 0.015 times T plus the 0.104. And I just told the computer where to look for T. And I said, look in the next box over. Enter, and it makes the calculation. Now, Google is a little different than Excel. Google says, hey, you want me to keep filling that formula down? And actually, the correct answer is yes, check, do it. But I'm going to hit no for a sec because I want to demo something. So here's my formula. If I hit enter, I can see it's grabbing the number over there. And so if I change that 1 to a 0, it should recalculate that number there. I'm going to put it back to a 1. I basically want to reproduce this same formula down below. And since that formula depends on the cell to the left, the trick is to fill it down. I don't have to retype it. I just grab that magic button like we did last week and drag it down. And it's going to make the calculations for me. And it happens to be rounding to 3 decimal places. If yours was giving you more decimal places than that, then we could tell it to round in a couple of different ways. So for example, if I focus on that one right there, there's some buttons up above that say decrease decimal places or increase decimal places. So I could decrease and say, oh, show me less than that. Or I could say, hey, show me more decimal places than that. And so the computer will do any necessary rounding to show you more or less decimal places. So the spreadsheet helps rounding, which that's one common mistake we all make. We round something incorrectly. Spreadsheet helps minimize that. All right, so that was kind of the easy way to make this happen, which if you're doing it for the first time, ain't that easy. It takes practice. You'll see me do this again in other problems later. Hard way I'll show later. And the hard way is more powerful. Suspense.